guess we're live, Aaron.
Right
Uh,
now.
I'm Jeff McNeil, and we kind of got a little bored here with the isolation bit. So I guess this virtual podcast is been on my to-do list for some time. And what better time to run it than a Saturday night with nothing else to do and have Aaron Muise on here. Aaron is, I guess, the owner of Ross Creek Kennels. He's After many years, he finally decided to get back into the hound dog business, the Beagles, and recently there he got a couple of dogs. So for the first virtual podcast of Coast to Coast Outdoors, Aaron's going to tell us a little bit about his group of pups that he got and how much he sells them for, and maybe we'll even chime in there on how we got started back in the day, Aaron, with the hound dogs.
Well, we go. I Last October, after many years, my last dog was field trial champion Stoner Creek's Tiger. He was born February 23rd of '95. Well, many people that know me well, that was my last dog. Um, it's still a touchy subject on me because he was my favorite dog. So my first time out west, I lost my favorite hunting dog, and my that was the one dog from the time he was 9 months old. He placed his first trial right up until I retired him. He was my buddy. Um, any trips I went, he sat in the front seat with us at Timbits before he ever went, or if we went to the store before we went out, he always had a little piece of kielbasa or a pepperette, just something I always gave him. But I never lost my love of the dog. So a female by the name of Hunt's Fancy Fleur was a very good dog. Um, had a lot of the breeding Tiger had in back of him. So I got her, and my intentions initially before was to trial her, then breed her. She's come close to placing a couple of times with previous owner. Still a very young dog at 2 years old. So when she came into ready to be bred, I decided to sacrifice my trials this spring for a litter of pups um, to a guy by the name of Billy Petrie's very good male that he had. He still has. His father's a very good dog. Comes from championship bloodlines right through on both sides, the same as my female. He provides something. He has a very good nose, but he has an exceptionally good nose. She's faster than he is. She's a very fast dog. Probably one of the fastest dogs I've seen from comparing what I had in the past. She's a very fast dog, but she gets that from the old bloodlines and the Otterbrook line. The line that's doesn't. It's still in breeding, but the man doesn't breed them anymore. Um, he gets the speed and nose from that line. Billy's dog provides something that you can have a very good dog, but they're only going to be as good as the nose that's in front of them. He provides the ability to what we call cold scent. And Jeff, as you probably know, you've seen it with dogs. A rabbit passes by 10 minutes before. Some dogs just can't pick that scent up. A dog that has an exceptionally good nose has the ability to pick that up. Um, Sometimes it's for good, sometimes it's not. It can play around, but I don't mind a cold dog that can do that. It at least tells me that it can do its job, good setting or bad setting. But he provides something that not so much she lacks, but something that I like. The lines matched up good, the breeding matched up good. I ended up with seven very nice, beautiful, healthy pups. Um, they will be 15 inch. Um, there might be one 13-inch female in the group, but she's the runt of the litter and she may take a bigger growth spurt. I dare say they all should be 15s, but she may be a 13-inch.
Mm-hmm.
She's very, very good, very compassionate dog, very good with the pups. Um, if they if they have her speed and his nose, I should have lots of fun with them in the woods. As some are going for pets, um, which is understandable. Some are going for people that want to trial and like to be out in the woods with their dogs as a working dog, which that's why I bred them. But as for pets, they do the same thing. They're a beautiful pet. My two, Fleur and my other 4-month-old dog, are pets, and they're hunting dogs and trialing dogs as well. They serve both purposes. Um, but these pups will be very, very good dogs in that I believe it's the first. It's definitely Fleur's first litter. Um, it's the male whose name is field trial champion Pete's Cajun Boy. I believe it. It might be his first litter. Very good dog. Very well built dog. Well bred dog. I highly recommend breeding to him. Um, my options are open as of what I do next year with her, but definitely going to be trialing with her this fall. Once everything passes, I will have her in the woods to get back into running shape, and then hopefully trialing shape after that. Um, I'll get her packed with some good dogs in the summertime. I hope, and if not in the summer, in the fall, at least gets the fall trials, which is usually fun for me and you. Spent a lot of
Mm-hmm.
time in the woods, in the
No,
water.
back in the day, I guess we did, buddy. Geez, I don't know how many late nights we spent as younger individuals chasing beagles through the woods, and I don't know how many friggin' hound dogs we've lost over the years. Kind
You
of part of my start, I guess, with the whole outdoors and conservation stuff was running the beagles back in the day with you and your uncle Shani, and I don't know how many times geez, I ended up catching the lost dogs for crying out loud of Larry Manzini and JB Laney and all them folks, right? Jody Atwood. The name that's just to
actually
name a few, right? So,
actually talking about Jody Atwood. Jody Atwood's getting one of the pups actually.
well, there you go, right? So it sounds like he's getting back into it. Not saying that he ever got out of it,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
it's
No,
it's
Jody's undecided. I think Jody's taking a male.
mhm,
I believe he's taking. But Jody actually works at the hospital. Um, he got in contact with me about it, and I was more than happy to make sure he got a pup out of it. Um,
right on. So
Jody was nice to go.
out of your litter, uh, how many did you throw up there for sale anyway? You sold them all, or did you keep one, or
Uh,
and if so, how much did you let them go for, Aaron?
I let them go for 600. Um, I will retain one. Um, as it stands right now, when I originally bred, as you and I discussed, I was going to keep a female. Um, then I like the two females that are in the litter. They're very, very intelligent dogs. A lot more intelligent than I anticipated them to be. Even now, when they're in the house, mind you, they're 5 weeks old yesterday. They're intelligent to the point where they will have their nose down. They will do the little things that I see with. Um, there's one male there that really caught my eye in that he's intelligent. He's a strong male, and that he can pick up a teddy, like a plush toy that's probably pick that up and
Mm-hmm.
walk it around the yard. But what caught my eye with him, he picked it up. I called him over. He picked up, took that plush, put that plush toy at my feet. Now that's
Mm-hmm.
It's a dog. That's a pup. That's at the time a week, which was a week ago. The pup to be able to know that or learn that at that young of an age surprised me. And I go back to, if you breed a good smart dog with another good smart dog, you should have good smart puppies. He took that plush toy, put it at my feet, and went sniffing home. And
Mm-hmm.
that caught me off surprise. I've only seen a few select dogs do that. And the dogs that I've seen be able to do that at a very young age, and I'm talking pups that are still old, but did that at 3 months of age before I started taking them to the woods, would take toys back to me, would take little things that I had in the yard for them to play with and bring that back to me. That showed intelligence. This pup shows intelligence at 4 and 5 weeks old to bring something back. So I fell in love with that male, and I had said, I think I'm going to keep this male instead of keeping a female. Obviously, I can't breed him back to his mother, but I can breed him to another one of my females. I have one female now. I plan on probably getting another female um, from down in the U.S. Been a couple of spots. There's a guy in Louisiana that has beautiful dogs. Um, he has field championship lines right through. Um, him and I were talking, but with this everything going on with right now and all the borders being shut down, I can't get that dog yet. So I'm fine with that. He'll make that same cross again next year. So hopefully next year I'll have one of those females up here. Talk about next year maybe he'll have some of my line. I'll
So,
have some of his line, which works good.
so the trials this year, when were they supposed to start, Aaron?
They were canceled. Um,
They canceled them, did they?
our trial starts. Yeah, our trial around birthday in March. Um, the first couple were canceled for, I believe it's the Airway Beagle Club here on the Gardner Highway, and the other one's in Cape Trail. They got canceled early because we got more snow than Halifax or the mainland did. So our fences were obviously beat up a little bit. They will have to repair them, but that's fine. I'll help. Definitely helps with that. But there was so much snow this year that those two got canceled because of that. Once this COVID-19 started, there's not the trials here, but the trials all over North get canceled, which is understandable. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder on some of us that like the trial, but the safety of everybody, they got canceled. Hopefully the CKC will allow us to reschedule these trials for the summer and fall. Um, that's my hope. Um, Hopefully it will come to fruition, but we'll see. Um,
So
Fleur
with
will
this
definitely be ready for fall.
now with the CKC, every pup that you sold is registered under the CKC, or are you going under
Yep,
the American Kennel Club?
yep, they are all registered under the Canadian Kennel Club. Um, they will be registered under Ross Creek. Um, I'll pick a name, Ross Creek First Development. They will have identification name, their own. They will all be microchipped to. Let's say you had one of the pups. That would be microchipped. All your information, your address, phone number, proof information, contact information, will be logged in. You get your registration number for the dog and the registrations for the dog. Um, they're actually all wormed. Um, that's something I take pride in, making sure my dogs are wormed, vaccinated, vet checked before they ever go to to a home or to another kennel. They have all their appropriate inoculations. I'm a big believer in making sure a dog's wormed and in good health before and a vet check done. That's I've always been a firm believer that a vet check and needles are done. But they are all CKC registered. Um, I'm a firm believer in trying to keep a dog registered, so at least you know it's where it came from. Um, Years ago, these guys didn't register dogs, and
Mm-hmm.
there was the dogs that could be trialed, but a background that were all registered dogs, but guys got negligent, and it's a sin because there were some nice dogs that I've seen this with good friends of mine who would fun trial their dogs. And what a fun trial is, it doesn't matter if they're a registered or non-registered beagle. They could trial them in that trial, and they were top three and some very good dogs. And
Wow.
it's a sin to see that happen.
Now, now that they're registered, well, that they'll all be registered and that, how many of the pups do you figure are going to end up doing the trials and that, or being outdoors dogs, whether or not they're used for hunting or what have you with the outdoors?
I
Any ballpark number?
I believe, because I do have 7 pups, I believe 11 are going to be outdoor dogs. And what I mean by outdoor dogs, they're going to be used what they're bred for. Um, I know Billy Petrie does get a female. She owns the male. She will be trialed. That will be done with mine. My son's friend, one of my son's friends, I believe they will be doing that with theirs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I believe one more will be only two of them will be as pets, but I knew that ahead of time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one one lady wanted it for a pet. Possibly one's undecided what they're going to do, but it's going to be a pet first and foremost. Um, but I believe 3 to 5 will be used for what they're bred for, um,
That's that's
which is
that's a
good.
decent ratio.
Yeah, you're always going to lose one. I shouldn't say it this way. I don't mean it in that way. There's always going to be one or two bought as pets. Beagles make great pets. Um, People believe that they're a barky dog. I mean, you've been to my house countless times. Both dogs meet you at the door.
Mm-hmm.
You ever knock on the door?
I
Never.
hear the
The
little
only
Shih
time
Tzu
you hear my
barking
dog,
more than the Beagles.
he barks more than the other two combined. But that's the
Well, that's
thing.
it.
People think that they're a mouthy barking. You don't know. I would wouldn't leave my door unlocked in the middle of the night not being home. Um, because my 2 dogs would not make good guard dogs. They try to lick you by doing anything else. But that's their nature, which I love. I love about the two of them. They have great nature dogs.
So
They're no.
right right now, where can you show the viewers? I know we're bouncing here between anywhere between 5 and 20 viewers at most times, but for those that are watching, this is the first kickoff of this virtual podcast. Obviously, there's going to be future upgrades to it, just because we're isolated, obviously. So I'm hoping down the road there to have a few uh, government officials jump on and voice some concerns. Doesn't matter if it's from British Columbia right through. Uh, in discussion with a couple of big name hunting profiles as well to possibly jump on and tell us a little bit about what they do. But if you don't mind, Aaron, show some of the viewers there the pups that you got, and I'm going to try to answer a couple of questions that popped up here. We've got a few laughs in that from
Yeah.
some of the viewers, obviously. Uh, Craig McLeod. Okay, in all seriousness, Jeff, You have any updates about fishing season, like an idea of the date? Craig, I can tell you this from dealing with Nova Scotia Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture. They are looking at May 1st, but that May 1st deadline may, depending on the COVID-19 situation, it may be extended. But again, we're at the mercy of this current situation, and we're up in the air on what's going to take place with that. Hi, Elliot. Long time no here, buddy. Uh, so I hope that kind of answers your question there, Craig, on that. Inland Fisheries is going to be looking at that again. Nova Scotia isn't the only one that was postponed. New Brunswick postponed their fishing season as well, and from to my knowledge, there I believe Prince Edward Island has postponed their recreational fishing season. So I hope that answers that. I know the information is hard to find. Inbox me and I can send you whatever you wish in regards to that and keep you informed. So don't hesitate to message and we'll provide you with clear cut info. I see you got the pups there, Aaron. They're an active bunch.
And Jeff, I don't know
Aaron.
if you can hear me. These are the pups here. I believe it should be on screen now. This is
they
the
are.
first
I can
litter.
hear you. You broke up a little bit. Yep.
This one right here that I got my hand on is the male that I really like the most.
Okay.
And there's some of the other males right here. This here, if I can get it. This is the female right here. This is the little female too. I didn't keep the male. This sort of male. This male. You can see if you remember the little one in the back of the ear.
There's not much tan color to them though, eh?
What's that?
I said there's not much tan color to them.
No, just in their faces. But their mother and father are the same way. Now I got an uproar with pups. Their mother is a dark tan. Come on, Fleur. Their mother has dark tan to their face. Their father has a light tan. They will be dark tan in the face. Which I find very, very.
Did you ever think about getting a hold of Dave Frazier too and looking to see if he wants to breed the next litter, or any idea who you're breeding the next litter with? Which batch?
Everything you said, you're breaking up a little bit, buddy.
I said, did you think about who you're breeding the next litter with, the next batch? I know Dave Frazier's got Beagles out there in East Bay. He's originally from out our ways. He's originally from the South Bar Pier area, I believe. But I know he's out in East Bay now, and he does a few. He's got quite the gear too for the dogs, eh?
He does. I've thought about his good male. I guess I have a year to really find out how this litter turns out. There is a very good male in Ontario, Irvin Abdulov. He also has standardbreds too. He's a 13-inch male. Now, in retrospect, I can go with that male, but my second female that I have, when she reaches 2 after her trialing career, I'll probably trial her 2 and 3. I'm more apt to breed to that way with her because her lines cross well with Irvin Abdulov's dogs.
My has the older Fleur has the older bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
That gives me options. Um, I can go any which way with her, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the newer generation dogs or the older bloodlines. Many people have the older bloodlines anymore. With his females, a few other guys. The biggest reason why I bought the second female, who my son named after his favorite horse, my bright penny. Registered name is Moun's my penny. She's named after his favorite horse. Um, her he won that last year. Um, a very good female. Actually, she's in the room with me here now. This is my youngest female. This here is Flying Stones, Mullen Stones, my bright penny. She's a very good dog. She just turned. Oh, look at her. She just turned 5 months of age this week. Um, she's got 5 months. I guess she's got 4 months. The other pups, well-bred dog. I've had her in the woods a couple. She's not broke yet. I just got her woods just to get her used to at least walking with me, working around me.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't think that's they them go and they'll find us, but chase a rabbit a quarter mile down the road, or I want them working with me. Very intelligent
How
dog.
did
Not
how did Fleur do?
what's that?
Just for the How did Fleur do for the winter training this year on the rabbits and that? Did she stay on them pretty
She
decent,
did.
or?
Uh, yeah, she did well. She had a little bit of trouble giving birth to the second pup. That one was born backwards. Um, and that is a fear we all have when we breed our dogs. Is a or born backwards. Um, the pup survived, still healthy. Um, the first pup was born accidentally on my mother's birthday,
Mm-hmm.
3/3. Um, I thought I was going to have to go to the vets. It took her 4 hours to give birth to the second pup. I took her for a walk around the block,
Mm-hmm.
and as silly as it sounds, sometimes a walk will bring on contractions. Three back in the house, a walk that took me 10 minutes. She gave to the second pup, and then effortlessly, she had the rest of the pups without a hiccup. Um, she did very well, and considering it's her first litter, um, I give her up in a 10-star rating. As far as a mother of for a first time mother, she did it. It was like her. She's been a great mom with the pups. She does a very protective. The first 2 weeks, I couldn't let anybody near them. Um, she would try to hide them underneath blankets. It was kind of ironic how she was very protective. She's no, I could. Discussing this with a very good friend of ours, Randy Whalen. I was telling him how good of a mother she was. I couldn't ask for a better mom with these. Um, Realistically, now, as you've seen in the video or seen on the cast, they are eating dry dog. I soak their teeth aren't strong enough to crunch on puppy food yet, so I'll soak it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only the first week eating it, but they she was very good and taught them how to eat with them, show them what to eat, show them how to drink. The first 4 weeks, um, I mean, you've seen pictures. I've sent pictures. You see them first and foremost over everybody. Um, they have grown exponentially over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, I
But I
know.
couldn't ask for better.
Geez, I was surprised back March 12th there, the size of them. Actually, 12th and 13th. Holy crap. Uh, the, to say the least, they were growing pretty fast back then. They were almost a week ahead of schedule for size wise, I guess, on the actual
Yeah,
scale that's used for grading and that for the pups being
yeah,
so early on, right? But I guess it goes hand in hand with the diet that they're fed and the protein and all that. It's things come a
that
long way from going to Sobeys back in the day when we first started and getting bone meal and feeding the dogs with some puppy mix and puppy chow. So it's
it's
it's come a
what
long way, but I'm sure the food price and that for the pups isn't all that cheap either to maintain a specific
it,
diet.
it's funny. You see a lot of people today. Um, I used to raw diet 20 years ago when a raw dog food diet was taboo. Um, Now it's more prevalent. There's a lot of everyday people that have house dogs. Uh, I use the raw. What I use now, I go to Global Pets. I get their pro, their performance. It reminds me of, if you remember a dog food I used, Suregain XL. Um, I love that dog food with the raw meat. Um, Works well. Um, and you can see it in the puppies. Um, I don't give the puppies raw meat because their system wouldn't be able to handle that. Um, as far as her goes, her system can handle it. Um, she's a place in having healthy puppies and having healthy dogs. Fleur's overweight right now, but I don't mind that. I can, when I start trialing training again, she'll be back in shape. But there's a dog. Both my dogs are heavier than, and I don't mind that. But what
But
people think that the cheaper way with it, it sometimes doesn't work, right? You do more harm than you
so
do good.
although they're a little overweight, it's not going to make much difference anyway, because I'm sure you can get them out sooner than later anyway to get them running after the pups are gone, obviously. But once the pups are gone, I think you'd have some better luck there, especially training and that. It's unfortunate the Beagle trials have been canceled, obviously, or postponed due to the adverse predicament the world is in currently. But moving forward, as far as the pups go, they look pretty damn healthy, if you ask me. And moving forward, I just, I
They,
can't get over how
uh,
quick I I can't get over how quick they sold.
they were sold, and I didn't post them on. I know a lot. Kijiji is one of the most popular places to advertise.
But
I
I thought
put them
Kijiji changed their
on.
policies, Aaron, where you couldn't sell pets, or is it rehome pets they got call it now? I know at one point there you weren't allowed to sell dogs and cats on there due to something with their community policy or whatever. So,
If you put them,
but I guess if
how
you're a
people
licensed
are
breeder,
turning
you
it
could do it
now
that
is
way.
up.
What was that you cut out?
Yeah, if you can.
Oh, okay, so that answers
Uh,
that.
all I had done when probably a couple of days old, I put them on a website, I believe, on Facebook, and a couple of other ones. The COVID-19 a couple of them going to one had the ability to go to Ontario. Who had the ability to go down the states. One would have went to Louisiana. One was going to go to Alabama. With everything happening right now, it was in best interest that I promote them here, and they more so by word of mouth than they did anything else. I'm grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a waiting list of 15 pups right now. If she had, heaven forbid, if she had 30 pups or 20 pups, they old. Uh, I know there will be more litters out of her. Um, I actually had thoughts. You and I were with this not that long, actually last night,
Mm-hmm.
about a trip to Alabama to breed her to one of the tops that was in Alabama over the last 2 years. And to a lot of people, that's an expensive breeding, and probably the breeding itself wasn't the cost. The cost would have been
The,
three or
the,
four
the,
of
the
us making a
upfront
road trip.
cost. Yeah. The upfront cost of the road trip, right? Heading down
Yeah,
south.
and
Um, accommodations,
and
fuel, blah, blah, blah.
to me that's not a bad trip to take. Um, the simple reason we got a road trip down to the down south. Um, Maybe a turkey hunt. That crossed my mind.
Hey, hey,
Something.
hey! I've got a connection there for that. Terry Smith, if you're watching, I know you've got many contacts down south of the border for turkey hunts, and it's hey,
Yeah.
Terry. I'll touch on that. I know Terry, for an example, he's busy there with this COVID-19 and his company, but actually, I've got his company's hat on. Altec Environmental, to be quite honest, services. But I know him and his missus were stifled as well, because I know they had planned a pile of hunting trips south of the border, and they have people coming up because they've got businesses. Terry's got a guide business in Newfoundland there where he's going to be outfitters, and uh, they've got another one. Lisa and him have one up in New Brunswick. They're North Shore Outfitters. Uh, I don't know how those guys are going to fare out with the current situation, but who knows, right? Like, we've got contacts there to utilize if you're ever interested in going south of the border for a hunt. They've they've built up a network there that's pretty large, and I'm sure Terry would have no. Well, you met Terry there a couple weeks back, actually a month ago, I guess now, Aaron, and it's he's willing to help hunters however he can, right? With contacts south of the border for turkey hunts, and we've also got I've got a personal contact there for southern Ontario, Aaron. So we may not even have to go south of the border if you were interested. I know
No,
Greg
that
Greg's been down, and Greg's done a lot of work for us there over the last couple of years with his outdoor ecology education presentations and that here in Cape Breton with CWTF and Port Moriam Wildlife Association. So we've got contacts there if you're interested. Wouldn't take much, but if you were going down south of the border for to do any breeding or whatever with the Beagles, well, we've got the contacts that have contacts. We've got quite the network built up to utilize, Aaron, and you know that just being around this stuff as long as I have, and
well,
you've you've seen the network of connections myself have
yeah,
gained over many years of
there, there's a guy on my litter of pups. I have one.
Who's that, Terry?
Harry.
Oh, jeez.
There's
Well,
IPF.
if Terry's watching, I'm not sure if Terry would be interested, but I'm pretty sure maybe his missus may take you up on that offer. You don't know.
Well, you believe me, if Terry and my next one, the up,
There
you
you
know, you're
go.
more than welcome
So
too.
I know circumstances right now, buddy, beyond my control, unfortunately. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But
Oh, hey,
I'm not
I
ruling
I
it
know.
out. Not ruling out the fact, Aaron, that I wouldn't
Hey,
take you up on that offer, right? You broke
well,
up,
you
Aaron.
always know anytime you want. And you always grew up, so you always know whether the dogs are here or the dogs at your place. You always know you got full run of two dogs.
Oh well, no.
All you
Thanks,
have
buddy.
to go and
Appreciate
say,
that.
hey, grab them the dogs.
Mm.
But you always know
Uh,
they're always there for you at any time you want them.
so yeah, no, I know that, and just because we've been here and we've been talking about Beagles, I think we covered just about everything there with the Rash Creek kennels and the breeding and your future litters that are coming forward down the road. We'll wait and see how this one goes with the Canadian Kennel Club registration and such, and we'll go from there. But since we touched on that, and we've got some time to kill here because we were planning on running this for what, an hour, Aaron? So per virtual
Yeah.
podcast. So so with that, I'll throw out a couple of things here. In the next couple of weeks, I'm hoping to have Terry Smith, the president of the Canadian Wild Turkey Federation, on the show here and discuss the turkeys in New Brunswick. I'll be quite honest. I'm putting out a request there for the minister in New Brunswick as well to touch on the wild turkeys. I know they were affected in New Brunswick, and just due to the COVID-19 and the rollout of the spring turkey hunt got postponed. I can tell you this: New Brunswick, they have a minister there that knows how to roll with the outdoors and how to make it work for everybody. Uh, so it's a kudos to Minister Mike Holland for the work and dedication he's put forward there. Now that he's in office, prior to that, he's been instrumental in what he has done there. So I'm hoping to have him on the show, have a little discussion there with him and Terry, maybe on wild turkeys in New Brunswick and whatnot. Uh, Locally here, as you know, Aaron, our fishing, recreational fishing, has been delayed uh, due to this virus as well. And I know your missus works in the hospital field as well. Uh, it's it's the aspect is is kind of scary. But again, we've got we got to hear what they put down, unfortunately, and hope in May that they decide. And when I say they, the government, as we know, the government at the highest level made the decision outside of the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture to delay the sport fish season. And every day, like I know, camping season is now delayed, and so on and so forth. Uh, it's just delay after delay after delay, and many organizations, like I know one of our organizations that I'm a president of, Port Morion Wildlife Association. We had many events canceled and affected by that. And Aaron, you're a member of that organization as well. You've seen firsthand what that organization had in store for seniors, peoples with
Yep.
disabilities, children's events, um, just educational events. Everything just kind of went to down the tubes very quickly. But again, we and the show isn't about Port Morion Wildlife Association. Obviously, it's an open dialogue virtual podcast to discuss just about anything and everything, from British Columbia or Alaska to here. It doesn't matter if you're south of the border or where. If you're interested in jumping on board and having a chat, we welcome you. We can grow the panels further and more. I see Arthur Henry. Nova Scotia still has no plans to allow a turkey hunt. Nova Scotia is, and I hate to say it, our Department of Lands and Forestry, formerly known as DNR, Department of Natural Resources, is so far behind the times and so far backwards. Uh, they they don't want anything for Nova Scotia, quite frank. Uh, they'd sooner things stay status quo, unfortunately. Uh, as far as the turkey stuff goes, I can tell you this for Nova Scotia. Myself, doing the digging that I had done in the last number of years, and we've mounted a pile of information, as well as dealing with the Mi'kmaq of Nova Scotia. The dialogue has been created, and the Mi'kmaq are open to discussing this further. I can't get into grave detail, and further to that, I will elaborate a bit to tell you that New Brunswick may have rolled out a turkey hunt before Nova Scotia and many other provinces on the East Coast. But the discussion is there with the president of the Canadian Wild Turkey Federation, Terry Smith, myself, president of Port Morion Wildlife Association, and the Mi'kmaq in Nova Scotia to try to further the aims of turkeys in Nova Scotia. I will put this out there, though. In Nova Scotia, there are, and this is according to a FOI pop that was done and released on a government letterhead from the government to myself. There are 10 pockets of turkeys in Nova Scotia. It doesn't give the exact geographical areas, but they do acknowledge that there is turkeys. But unfortunately, there's no turkey hunt in Nova Scotia. Uh, we got a hard enough job trying to get the Nova Scotia government to support a spring bear harvest that already has the green light from the Mi'kmaq to allow Nova Scotia hunters a chance to do that. Unfortunately, based on meetings that I had seen firsthand, it comes down to politics and the government being scared of losing votes for initiating a spring bear harvest. Uh, Again, there's more than just the hunting side. There's the other side of things where we've got nuisance bear population up there. We have a number of different issues, inherent risks with that as well. That unfortunately play into this. We've got to base everything off of research and scientific data moving forward, and unfortunately, sometimes things don't play out the way our hunting communities hoped. Uh, but yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question there on that, Art, in regards to the turkey hunt in Nova Scotia. Uh, so, but yeah, any viewers got any wildlife questions that we can touch on or elaborate? We try not to get in a whole pile of detail, obviously, because you don't want to put the cart before the horse 9 times out of 10. But there's been enough due diligence done, and that again, good old politicians seem to be the hurdles on a lot of this stuff. So it's unfortunate, but fight the good fight, as they say, and there's many people that are out there that are willing to push the envelope and hit them with the hot poker. So, and Aaron, you know darn well that it takes a lot of push to get them to move things forward. You've seen from our meetings there
A
with
lot.
Fort Morion Wildlife. But what's your take on the whole fishing season being delayed anyway?
I don't know. Excuse me. I don't like being cooped up.
Well, that's a
It's
given.
probably the
Nobody
most
does.
no. I don't like the fact that I'm stuck. You and I have always made fishing trips, little, even if it's just a drive through, a random drive somewhere. I know some people are very vocal about it. For purposes of not being able to physically see friends, not being able to go out. That's all. It's just I go to work, come back home. Um, I guess what it is. You can't change. You can't change what is. Just hopefully things can turn around quickly. Um, I hope it does. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for everybody's sake. Um, it's it's a very dangerous time right now. So um, if we do our part and try our best, it should come around sooner rather than later. So hopefully things will get
Well,
rectified soon. Everyday life will
that's
be back to normal.
that's all one can hope for. I know there's a lot of outdoor enthusiasts there that are kind of stifled. They like their camping, they like their campgrounds, they like their socializing. You take it, we're getting close to the summer months, and they're talking just watching Robert Strang, Dr. Robert Strang, speak there about stuff. It's like wow, it's it's who knows. It's up in the air, and hopefully, at least moving forward, uh, the best advice I would say is, if anything, the when it comes to the fishing aspect, if you're 6 feet apart, hey, so be it, right? If you have to take separate vehicles, take separate vehicles. If and when they do decide to move things forward, but if they do, there's going to be restrictions, no doubt, or what have you, possibly. And with that being said, we always have that select few that will mess it up for everybody else, unfortunately. So, but
Awesome.
it's wait and see. So, but if anybody else got any other things there they want to throw up or throw out at us in the comments, we'll try to answer it. I know I had Aaron on the virtual podcast just for the Beagles and talking about that. But the last 25 minutes or so, we kind of killed it up a bit there with touching on a few other topics there. Really, it's all unscripted. It's there. Keep it PG, obviously, and respectful. That's all we can ask for. Uh, go from there and see what transpires. But I'm going to try to get used to this app a little bit better and roll things out. I hope the mic is a little clearer and whatnot. It's a pile of old gear that I had laying around that I kind of threw together for this. Isolation boredom, I guess, Aaron?
Wrong being well, no, it's just this is different. Um, I know the fishing trips they'll come soon enough. May 1st. You know, a lot of these like the fact that it's May 1st, but you know what? May 1st isn't that far away. Um, blink of an eye, this is a long weekend in April. May 1st will be here enough. I was ready.
Well, look,
I can't
we
wait.
got right now. We've we've got lobster fishermen right now that are trying to get their season either postponed or canceled. It's it's up there, man. Like it's nobody knows what's going to transpire. Lobster market seems to be down. Snow crab market seems to be down. Uh, fear is driving everything, man. It's everything has gone down the crapper.
Done.
Unfortunately, it's yeah,
And
it's a
especially,
tough one. Lots of decisions there. Lots of guys bought licenses last year in the millions, man. It's it's something
yeah.
that's going to hurt, right? I see we got a comment here from Arthur. The laws are always made for the weakest link, as you say. There's always someone willing to break them, and that's how hunting and fishing community is judged. And you know what, Arthur? You've got that nailed to a T. Uh, that's uh, that's why the general public frowns upon hunting most times because of the actions of a select few that kind of painted everybody with the same brush, or as you say, judged everybody. Hopefully, hopefully things will smarten up, I guess, for the most part. But again, each their own. Everybody has to get in that garden path and eventually pay the consequences, I guess, uh, if if caught. But hopefully,
Always the one
people
bad apple.
and you know what? Hopefully, people adhere to what is there. If they do start lifting restrictions, hopefully people adhere to them, and many of our anglers can get out fishing because before you know it, it'll be hunting season, and who knows? The uncertainty is just that a whole pile of fear and uncertainty, and people are getting antsy. So people want to get out and do their thing. So a lot of kids, grandpas, uh, kids go with their grandfathers fishing, whatnot. Hi, Jim. Jimmy, how you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of folks, man, that they're down about fishing. I was surprised, man, seeing the petition that was out as well, Aaron, with the amount of people that had signed up on that and whatnot. But unfortunately, or I shouldn't say unfortunately, fortunately for us, public safety takes precedence, and
Yep.
it's one of them circumstances when it comes to that, and we're we're stifled, we're hurdled, uh, we're to the point where you just don't go. Uh, it's the big picture, lots of stuff there to look at. If somebody went overboard, you got extra bodies out there, the whole 9 yards. So there's a pile of variables there people can look at and weigh. It's a topic, Aaron, that could be debated back and forth for days, if not weeks on end, right? So,
Yep.
but but other than that, what else you thinking here? Oh, we got a question again. What is the reason why you can't fish? Well, Jimmy, it's a simple one. The government at the highest level pretty much put the directive out to postpone the fishing season uh, to May. Now, come May, we're not sure. They're going to reevaluate it May 1st or for May 1st, whether or not it'll be a go or not. Personally, I believe it's probably going to take some time and effort for them to find out whether or not it's going to be safe. Because Jimmy, you and I know, same as many others, uh, sometimes you got two people on a boat, you're 6 feet apart. Other times you may have numerous people on the boat. Uh, it's up there. Uh, do I agree with the fact that you can put your boat in when the ice is off the water and go for a boat ride? Hey, I'm sure the government is going to look at every angle to close off if this doesn't get under control, as they say. But some people aren't going to follow it regardless. Uh, there's not much to do. Uh, do you think the government will still let your fish? There's not much to do. You do you do you think the government will let your fish for a good state of mind in this hard time? Jimmy, for the mental health and that, I honestly don't know. I don't have an answer to that. They're going to probably reevaluate based on, and this is just an educated guess, they're probably going to reevaluate based on what evidence presents itself with this virus and judge things as they see fit uh, on that note. More than I can answer at this point. I don't really have a hardcore answer to tell you, but it's something that they did look at and discuss. Uh, but I know we're at the 1 hour mark here, a little over, and I said that the virtual podcast would last an hour, and geez, it didn't take long going there. Talking about Beagles, the old times in the woods, the whole 9 yards. Uh, Answering some questions. A lot seem to be fishing related. Couple there on turkeys, but again, it's a wait and see, guys. And right now, with everything shut down, it's kind of hard to shake, rattle, and roll some stuff to get things done. Other than that, guys and gals, we appreciate the viewers and whatnot. And well, Arthur, I don't believe they will make an exception for fishing unless they are opening up other restrictions. I wouldn't be surprised if they extended the delay. Arthur, you may be correct. Anything is possible with this. Again, when they say they're going to reevaluate, anything is plausible. Uh, it's not to put it out there, but it is what it is, right?
Depend on the
It's
numbers. If they get worse or decline over the, it's going to depend on that.
that's that's it. I'll be quite honest. I can't wait for them to get a vaccine or something and get this under control and get the world back on some normal tracks for crying out loud. But I hope that answers that, Arthur. Thanks for the engagement tonight. Jimmy, thanks for the engagement. Craig, all you guys that took the time, Piercy, all you guys, hope thanks again for the engagement. And once again, thanks for tuning in. We're over the hour mark now. And it's like I said, this is just something they're done up through boredom of isolation and trying to get it out there and have open dialogue about certain topics. Some topics with the outdoors and conservation and whatnot. Some people don't want to touch on. I know I seen Dylan Yates pop in there with Cape Breton Environmental Association. Maybe we can get him on board there in the next couple of days as well, or next weekend. Who knows? For open dialogue session.
Well, I do it for this opportunity. Definitely been my pleasure.
yeah, so I guess it's still live, isn't it? So sorry about that, but I guess it helps when you plug things in. But yeah, other than that, uh, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good time this weekend. Happy Easter.